I feel like we've all been told at some point that video games are bad and are going to rot our brains out. Now, I'm not going to necessarily deny that when games like Mario Tennis Ultra Smash exist, but I can't stand to spend a mere minute away from something with a Goomba in it. I tried eating, but there's no Goombas involved, so I think I'll pass for now. So how do I get my Goomba fix without playing video games? Super Mario Books, video game fans' best worst dream nightmare. Like, I don't want to read, I want to play an RPG. The Mario franchise, being as large as it is, has escaped the medium of video games many times. We've tried to contain it, but it just won't quit getting out. Essentially every form of entertainment, everyone's favorite Italian stereotype will have some presence in. In this new mini-series, I'll talk about every different kind of media that the Mario series has been in, starting with everybody's favorite, dead trees. Books, paper with words and sometimes pictures on it. The best way to rid yourself of entertainment. And I'll only be talking about officially licensed books in this video because I could fill up an entire hour with just these stupid fake knockoff ones on Amazon. So no Super Mario Bros. Wonder full guide, walkthrough, tips, tricks, and strategies, full updated. But I mean, just look at this beautifully done AI cover. This is kind of a weird one. The Super Mario Bros. Encyclopedia, also known by its government name, the Super Mario Encyclopedia, the ultimate guide to the first 30 years. I mean, the title basically explains what it is. It's just an overview of the entire Super Mario Bros. Series up to that point. Well, what's weird about it, you might be asking? Well, first of all, it's supposed to be for the 30th anniversary, which happened in 2015. It did release in 2015 in Japan, though. But in North America, we didn't get it until late 2018. And that was after it was delayed multiple times. How do you delay a book? By the time it was out, we were closer to the 35th anniversary. They might as well have just waited and added the extra 5 years. But how is the book? Is it any good? The Mario Wiki has 2 sections dedicated to errors and 1 dedicated to plagiarism. Again, this is officially licensed, by the way. It calls wigglers wrigglers, but then a couple pages before that it calls them by the correct name. I still think it's a neat book to flip through, even with all the errors and plagiarism. I mean, that kind of makes it more fun to point out when they don't know how to spell. I just don't understand how this was allowed for an officially licensed book. If this was just another Super Mario Bros. Wonder full guide, walkthrough, tips, tricks, and strategies full updated, then whatever. I mean, I'm surprised any of those words are even spelled correctly. But this has the coveted Nintendo seal of quality. Hey, wait a minute, no it doesn't. Where's the seal of quality? It's just not here. Am I just blind? I genuinely don't see it anywhere. Please tell me if it's in there somewhere. Like I'm genuinely going insane. This is officially licensed, isn't it? Whatever, let's move on. I sure do hope the next book has the seal of quality on it. It doesn't have one. I still think this is officially licensed, but it just doesn't have the seal. At least this box of gummies does. Anyway, this one is just so much better than the previous one. As the name suggests, it's an art book for Super Mario Odyssey, which is a game that I'm a fan of. It's just really cool to have high quality prints of concept art and just official art from the game in general. My only issue is that the plastic cover is just way too fragile. And this was published by the same company that published the encyclopedia. Boy, did they redeem themselves or what. I mean, there's not much to say about this book. It's just concept art and stuff. So you're telling me if I'm a fan of a game, I would probably like this extra material from the game?
Hey, Mario!
Did you know that the Super Mario series is actually primarily targeted at young children and not people like me? And because of that, there's several Mario books that are aimed at those who were born 2 seconds ago. Now, I don't have any of these, unfortunately, but I'll talk about them anyway because I'm not qualified to. There's a handful based on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which makes sense. I feel like these would have been made even if it was just a generic Illumination movie not tied to Mario at all. There's a Little Golden Book, which is just a brand of books aimed at kids who are learning how to read. So it's a kid's book, because basically every kid's book is just there to teach kids how to read. There's Meet Mario. Yeah, I'll definitely go more in depth on these in a part 2 if I make that in the future. I just felt like mentioning them now because if I didn't, I feel like somebody would probably get mad at me. Somebody's probably going to get mad at me regardless. This is kind of a weird one. It's obviously based on the game Super Mario Advance, which itself is just a remake/port of Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, if it was just a more in-depth version of that game's story, I wouldn't think it's that interesting. But it actually goes for the choose-your-own-adventure approach. In case you don't know, a choose-your-own-adventure book has you read through several pages, then you choose between a handful of different pages, and that repeats until you get to one of the endings of the story, either good or bad. I definitely think this is a very smart way to adapt a video game into a book. I mean, choose your own adventure books are basically games by themselves to begin with. Spoilers for the Super Mario Advance choose your own adventure book. None of the endings are really anything special. It's either the character that you chose wakes up, which is one of the bad endings, or you defeat Wart, which is the good ending. This isn't just a choose your own adventure book though, there's winning tips and strategies inside. There's like 6 pages and over half of them are taken up with character descriptions. And the rest are just screenshots that I don't really think would help you that much. I wouldn't really consider this a winning tip or strategy. But that brings up a whole other category of books I haven't even mentioned yet. Strategy guides. Now, I unfortunately don't have any of these, but I do remember borrowing the Super Mario Galaxy one from the library a couple of times. I mean, these things are just irrelevant at this point, unfortunately. If you're stuck on anything, just Google it. I genuinely don't think there's a single person out there who buys strategy guides nowadays because they're stuck on a level or something. They're just people who like the game that want more stuff for it. Now, like I said, I don't have any, so here's some that I would like to get at some point. The Super Mario Odyssey one, obviously. I mean, I know too much about that game, so it would just be another thing to add to my collection of Odyssey garbage. All of the Mario and Luigi ones that exist, because I kind of like those games. I mean, they're alright. Hear me out. The Paper Mario Sticker Star Guide. I definitely don't need it, I've played this game longer than most, but it came with real-life stickers. Some of them based on the stickers from the game. That's really, really stupid, but I like it. I just like real-life video game stuff that acts like the thing in the video game. We all know that strategy guides are irrelevant now, but you might not have even needed them back when they were relevant. So do these count? I mean, they're called instruction booklets, so I think they count. Plus, I already wrote this segment and I don't feel like cutting it. Every single game back then used to come with one of these. And they're rarely anything too crazy or special. Usually just the basic controls or rundown of the plot and character descriptions. Like, I really wouldn't know what to do without this description of Lubba. Oh, and some of them came with notes sections that you could write on. Only mentally insane people ever wrote on these. Just get a notebook. They don't make manuals for games anymore, but I completely understand why. It's just more efficient to do in-game tutorials and stuff. And if I really need a character description for Lubba, I can just go to the Mario Wiki. Even though it's just not the same, man.